Hello friends. Now we are going to discuss the electrolytic cell and electrolysis, and Faraday's laws of electrolysis belong to the chapter electrochemistry. First we'll discuss what are electrolytic cells. In the starting of this chapter, we have discussed that what reactions are taking place in the electrolytic cell. In electrolytic cell, external source of voltage is used to bring about a chemical reaction. It means when we pass the electricity from outer cell, outer source, chemical reaction will takes place. A simplest example of electrolytic cell, which we have discussed in the lower class here, that is refining of copper. This is the setup is shown in this diagram. In this case, this anode we will take the impure copper, cathode a strip of pure copper. Cathode is attached with the negative terminal of the battery, and this is anode is attached with the positive terminal of the battery. Now at anode, as we discussed, oxidation is taking place. That's why copper lose the electrons and copper ions goes into the solution. And at the cathode, these copper ions gain the electron and deposit at the cathode in the solid form. Simply we can say in this cell from anode, which is made up of the impure copper, copper goes into the solution in the form of Cu2 plus ion, and at the cathode Cu2 plus ion gain the electron and deposit at the cathode. And in this case, electrolytic solution which we are using, that is aqueous solution of copper sulfate. And this is the basis for an industrial process in which impure copper is converted into a copper of high purity. In the same way, many metals like sodium, magnesium, aluminium, generally highly electropositive metals, are produced on large scale by the electrochemical reduction of their respective cations. For example, sodium and magnesium, these are produced by the electrolysis of their fused chlorides, and aluminium is produced by the electrolysis of aluminium oxide in the presence of cryolite. This is about electrolytic cell. Now, Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Faraday's gave two laws, first law and second law, and these known as the Faraday's first law of electrolysis and Faraday's second law of electrolysis. First one is first law. According to this, the amount of chemical reaction which occurs at any electrode during electrolysis by a current is proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte or solution or melt. Electrolyte may be in the form of solution, aqueous solution, or it may be in the form of molten state. Mathematically, we can say this is mass of any substance deposited or liberated that is directly proportional to the amount of electricity. If we remove this proportionality factor, another constant will come, that is Z, where Z is the electrochemical equivalent and Q is the quantity of electricity in coulombs. And this Q is given by I into T, where I is the current in ampere and T is time in second. If we place the value of Q is equal to I into 2. In this formula, we will get M is equal to Z into I into T. Now, if I is 1 ampere and T is 1 second, then we can say this M is equal to Z. From this, we can define this electrochemical equivalent. So we can say electrochemical equivalent of a substance is the amount of substance liberated at the electrode when current of 1 ampere is passed through the electrolyte for 1 second. Clear? Now, as we know, charge on one electron is 1.6021 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. In this way, we can find out the charge on 1 mole of electron. If this charge, which is present on the one electron, is multiplied by the Avogadro constant, that is 6.02 into 10 to the power 23, then you will get 96,487 coulomb per mole. And this quantity, that is 96,487, this is known as Faraday constant and represented by the symbol F, capital F. But for the calculation purpose, we use the value of 1F nearly equal to 96,500 coulomb per mole. Now see, if we see the following electrode reactions like silver from aqueous solution, silver ion gain 1 electron, convert into the Ag solid, Mg2 plus gain 2 electron, convert into Mg, Al3 plus gain the 3 electron and convert into the aluminum solid. Now what we conclude from these reactions, we can say for 1 mole of silver, 1 mole of electron, that is electricity or charge equal to 1 Faraday, we have to pass to get the 1 mole of silver. In the same way, if we want to get the 1 mole of magnesium, 1 mole of magnesium, then we have to pass the 2 moles of electrons, that is 2 Faraday of charge. In the same way, in case of aluminium, that is for 1 mole of aluminium, 3 moles of electrons, that is 3 Faraday of charge we have to pass. Simply, how many electrons are required to reduce a cation? In that way, we can find out how many Faraday of electricity is required to get the 1 mole of that substance. Now see some examples. A solution of copper sulfate is electrolyzed for 10 minutes with a current of 1.5 amperes. What is the mass of copper deposited at the cathode? So first of all, we will find out the amount of electricity by using formula Q is equal to I into T. That is I. It is not A, that is this is I. I is given 1.5 ampere. This is 1.5 ampere and T is given as a 10 minutes. Convert this 10 minute into the second. So we will get the 600 second, then that is 900 coulomb. Now according to the reaction, Cu2 plus gain the 2 electron and converting into Cu. What is the meaning of this equation? It means if we pass the 2 Faraday of electricity, 1 mole of copper will deposit. And as we know, molar mass of copper is 63 gram. That's why we can say we require 2 Faraday. If we convert into the coulomb, that is 2 into 96,487 coulomb, deposit 1 mole or 63 gram of copper. Now, that is amount of electricity in this question is 900 coulomb. So when we pass the 900 on coulomb, the mass of copper deposited is equal to this. That is, this is 63 gram is obtained by this much amount of electricity. Then from 900 we can get this one 0.2938 gram. This is simply unitary method. We can solve it. See some more example. How much charge is required for the following reductions? 1 mole of Al3 plus 2Al. Now see what is the electrode reaction? Al3 plus gain the 3 electron converting into Al. It means charge required for the 1 mole of aluminium is equal to 3 Faraday. Convert this 3 Faraday into the coulomb, then this multiplied by 96,500. In the same way, 1 mole of Cu2 plus 2Cu. Again see the electrode reaction. This, how many electrons are required to reduce? 2 electron for 1 cation Cu2 plus. So we can say for 1 mole of copper we require the 2 Faraday and 2 into 96,500 coulomb of charge. Now 1 mole of MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. See the reaction. It is MnO4 minus is converting into Mn2 plus. Now question arises, how can we find out that how many electrons are required to reduce this? So see the change in oxidation number, which we have already discussed in the class 11th. How can we find out the oxidation number? In this case, Mn, oxidation number of Mn is plus 7, and in product side, oxidation number of Mn is plus 2. Then what the change in oxidation number? This is 5. So that's why we can say 5 electrons are required for the reduction of 1 mole of MnO4, 1 unit of MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. Simply we can say that is charge required for reduction of 1 mole of MnO4 minus, that is equal to 5 Faraday. Convert this 5 Faraday into the coulomb, that is 5 it multiplied by 96,500, we will get the answer. So these are some questions which are based on the first law of Faraday. Some more question. How much electricity in terms of Faraday is required to produce? Now see 20 gram of calcium from molten CaCl2. Again see the electrode reaction. Ca2 plus gain the 2 electron and converting into Ca. Now as we know, molar mass of copper is 40 gram per mole. Now from this reaction we can say That is, when we pass the 2 Faraday of electricity, 1 mole of calcium will deposit, and mass of 1 mole of calcium is 40 gram. That's why we can say electricity required for production of 40 gram of calcium is equal to 2 Faraday. Then electricity required for the production of 20 gram of calcium is 2 Faraday divided by 40 gram multiplied by 20 gram, and we will get 1 Faraday, which is equal to 96,500 coulomb. Now see, 40 gram of aluminium from molten Al2O3. Now again write the electrode reaction. In case of Al2O3, what is the ionic state of aluminium? So we can say aluminium is present in the Al3 plus form. It required the 3 electron to convert into aluminium, and as we know, molar mass of aluminium is 27 gram per mole. From this electrode reaction, we can say electricity required for the production of 27 gram of aluminium is 3 Faraday. Then we can find out how much electricity will require to produce 40 gram. 3 Faraday divided by 27 gram multiplied by 40 gram, and if we solve it, it will come 4.4 Faraday, and we can convert this into the coulomb by multiplying 96,500. Now next one is the Faraday's law of electrolysis, and that is we are discussing second law. The amounts of different substances liberated by the same quantity of electricity passing through the electrolytic solution are proportional to their chemical equivalent masses. Now what is this chemical equivalent masses? We can find out that is atomic mass of the metal divided by number of electrons required to reduce the cation. From this we can find out that equivalent mass. Now see example. If the two electrolytic cell, that is A containing silver nitrate solution, B containing copper sulfate solution, are connected in a series and same quantity of electricity is passed through the cell, then we can say mass of copper divided by mass of silver. This ratio is equal to chemical equivalent mass of copper divided by chemical equivalent mass of silver. Now, how can you find out the chemical equivalent mass of copper? So we can say the electrode reaction is this. 2 electrons are there. That's why chemical equivalent mass of copper is 63.5 gram. This is the molar mass of copper divided by 2. Why this is 2? Because these 2 electrons are required to reduce the cation. That will be equal to 31.75. In the same way, silver, this is 108. This is the atomic mass of silver. Divided by 1. Why 1? Because 1 electron is required for the reduction. That's why this is equal to 108. In this way, we can find out the chemical equivalent masses. See the one question of your textbook. And this is the exercise question. 3 electrolytic cell A, B, C containing solutions of zinc sulfate, silver nitrate, copper sulfate respectively are connected in series, and a steady current of 1.5 amperes was passed through them until 1.45 gram of silver deposited at the cathode of cell B. How long did the current flow? Time we have to calculate. What mass of copper and zinc were deposited, and atomic mass of silver, copper and zinc are given. So first of all, see the electrode reaction for silver, and molar mass of silver is given. From this electrode reaction we can say that is electricity required for production of 108 gram of silver is equal to 1 Faraday, which is equal to 96,500 coulomb. And electricity required for the production of 1.45 gram, this is given in the question. We can find out this is, that is 1295.6 coulomb. This is the amount of electricity required for the production of 1.45 gram. And this, actually this is wrong, this is not required, 1 Faraday. Now we have to find out the time. So we apply the formula, Q is equal to I into T, and this Q we already calculated. I is given 1.5, we can find out the T. So this T is equal to, this in second, convert this into minute, that is 14.4 minutes. Okay, now second part, what mass of copper and zinc were deposited? So again we will find out the equivalent mass of copper and equivalent mass of zinc. These are the electrode reactions. Okay, from this we can find out equivalent mass of copper 63.5 divided by 2. Why 2? Because these 2 electrons are required to reduce. This is equal to this one. In the same way for zinc, 65.2 is equal to 32.5. Now we apply the second law of Faraday. Mass of copper divided by mass of silver is equal to chemical equivalent mass of copper divided by chemical equivalent mass of silver. We have to find out the mass of copper deposited. So from this we will get this one. Equivalent mass of copper divided by chemical equivalent mass of silver multiplied by mass of silver. Put the value, this will equal to this one. In the same way, mass of zinc, we can find out chemical equivalent mass of zinc divided by chemical equivalent mass of silver multiplied by mass of silver. Put the value and this will come this. Thanks.